All right, man. Undisputed. Skip Bayless been in the news more than NFL players recently with all these changes that they've been making, man.
I just saw the names. When I saw those names, I'm just like, man, that's a lot of yelling at one time.
Yo, it's crazy to get a noise complaint in Universal Studios, but I'm pretty sure they get one.
They definitely need one. They definitely need one. That's crazy.
It's too much. It's too much. But let's hear what the man Microphone has to say. Shout out to him.
A little bit over 2 months ago, Shannon Sharpe put Skip Bayless in a very tough situation, abruptly agreeing to a buyout with Fox Sports 1 and officially giving his 2 weeks notice. And as Shannon Sharpe was slowly teasing his return, Skip Bayless was cycling through potential candidate after potential candidate, asking for people like Barkley before requesting Richard Sherman.
Charles Barkley would have been insane.
Hey, low key.
Charles Bark would be must-see TV.
Oh, if he could have got Chuck, man, that would.
It wouldn't have lasted long, but it would have been phenomenal. Hey, let's keep it a buck, man. Chuck has let the cat out the bag before. He ain't trying to work like no ESPN analyst for the pay that they get. That man is not trying to do he's like, let me work these like 14 dates and I'm be straight. That man is not moving out the Turner umbrella. They treat him too good.
He said, man, he about to have you working like Stephen A. working 300 out of 300.
That's what I'm saying. Chuck like Turner, the Turner Sports empire so much. That man took a job, I think at CNN, right? Like, no, he got a political show or politics show on CNN. He's not about to be like flying in and all this. Chuck is not about to be out here working all these jobs, man.
Absolutely.
He has no reason to. You knucklehead.
ESPN 1, ESPN 2, ESPNU, ESPN Deportes.
They do be working Stephen A. Smith crazy, man. They do.
Working that man to death.
He didn't even bring up ESPN News, and they definitely do be having Stephen A. on ESPN News, dog. They had Stephen A. on ESPN Plus before.
Hey, you know what Stephen A. pissed me off? When they was doing the ESPN layoffs, and he was like, I'm not necessarily safe. I was like, man, shut up, dog. They got you on every single channel.
I'm like, you are who they be worried about taking their job. Like, somebody be sitting there around the horn doing a good job. They be like, man, Stephen A. They talk about Stephen A. at ESPN like we talk about automation taking jobs.
Sherman liked the idea because, to be honest, I think this could be the move that catapults Richard Sherman's career. But the thing about Richard Sherman is he only agreed to do about 100 shows with Skip Bayless. Bear in mind, at least my personal theory as to why Shannon Sharpe left to begin with was because he felt overworked. He had to wake up Monday through Friday at like 4 in the morning, do his morning routine, drive all the way to Fox Studios, grab a cup of coffee, and debate with Skip Bayless.
Hey, and then Chuck wasn't doing none of that shit. Chuck wasn't doing none of that shit.
Chuck ain't doing a damn thing like that. 4 in the morning?
Chuck wasn't even waking up at 4 in the morning to work out when he was in the fucking league. All right? Like... The audacity to call Charles Barkley about that. Like he about to do that. Look, the reason him and Chuck and Shaq work so well is because they both, at the end of the day, about the same thing. How can I get the most out of the least?
Own online podcast, Club Shay Shay. Obviously, as he's getting older, he was feeling a little bit burnt out, and I feel like that's why he inevitably left. Shannon Sharpe would announce that he is joining The Volume in this clip.
Do you have good news for me? You're smiling.
I have great news for you. We're in business together, bro. I've decided to...
Hey, look, you wouldn't expect it from Colin Cowherd, but if you look at his roster, it look you know how we be talking about Dan Moore's coaching staffs? You know what I mean? Colin Cowherd, you look at that volume roster, it's like, oh, he looking where everybody else ain't. You know what I mean? Like, he's hitting a different demographic than what people would assume Colin Cowherd would hit. I'm just saying, you got Draymond over there, you got Shay over there. There's some other guys who are lesser known on there. Got my boy Vach Lombardi over there. I'm just saying, he watch out for Colin Cowherd, man.
I ain't gonna lie, man. We say it all the time. We disagree with some of his takes, but that man is great at his job.
Hey, he doesn't let certain things affect his scouting. You know what I mean? Like I'll say that. Like
Equal opportunity bag getter.
You know what I mean? Because I don't think Bill Simmons is out here trying to get Shannon Sharpe. I'm just joking. Bill Simmons, if you ever see this, please hire me.
Bring Club Shay over and partner with you. When we first started, you said, hey, give me an opportunity, hear what everybody else has to say. And I listened to
You saw that shit? Hold on. You saw that? He went,
Shay over and partner with you. When we first started, you said, hey, give me an opportunity, hear what everybody else has to say. And I listened to everybody, but I felt the volume was the best place for me.
And in order to keep up nationally televised sports show appearances, he would appear on First Take twice a week. But what about Skip Bayless? Well, Skip Bayless decided that he wasn't only going to bring on Richard Sherman for 100 shows a year, he was also going to bring on Lil Wayne to debate him about sports each and every Friday. This is a remarkable cast. Yes, it's a little bit heavy on the football side, although he is bringing in Rachel Nichols. I guess Rachel Nichols is going to have more of a presence on the show as a result of that. I'm sure that if Shannon Sharpe was able to figure out how to debate,
what they about to be doing tag team matches and Rachel Nichols gonna be the referee? Like what is going on this show? It's too many people. It's way too many people. Like even if the people weren't as aggressive for personalities as they are, it's way too many people. They got a basketball squad right now on a TV show.
Hey dog, what Skip's whole plan is just bring over everybody who used to be at ESPN, and it's so funny to me. Dog, you know what this reminds me of? Because we compare a lot of these things to sport. We compare a lot of sports talk things to just sports in general. Remember when the Heat got together? It was Bron and D Wade and Chris Bosh and all of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's First Take.
Yep.
Skip and Shannon is Bron and D Wade. That's what that is. You know what Undisputed is right now?
You want to say 2018 when Brown was just like throwing people? They used to be good.
No, remember that Brooklyn Nets team that had KG and Paul Pierce, Garrett Williams, and Brook Lopez? Yeah, that's what Undisputed is. That's what Undisputed is right now. Yeah, we can be better than them.
It is every big name you can find. This man is like, I bet in Skip Bayless's head, he think he Tom Brady on the Buccaneers. Like,
nah, that's not what that is.
He just bringing in every big name. Like, we've seen this happen with the Nets like 3 times. By the way, like they've done this multiple times. It's not worked. We seen this with the Lakers when they had that 2010 roster where it was Steve Nash, Dwight Howard, Kobe Bryant, 2012. Yeah, Kobe Bryant. Who else? Who else is on that roster? Pau Gasol, Rod Artest. I remember the Sports Illustrated that year was who's going to stop this dream team. And you know who stopped it, Kobe?
Themselves.
No, time. Right after they dropped that cover, Steve Nash got hurt, Kobe got hurt, Dwight back started acting up. Time destroyed that roster. What you gonna do with this? Like, this too much. It's too much. These styles don't mix. Like, they're eventually just gonna have to bring them on one at a time or segment at a time because this just obviously doesn't work. And they don't have what's her name? I can't believe I'm blanking on her name, but she been a moderator for First Take for the longest.
Molly?
Yeah, Molly Q. You know what I mean? They need somebody in there to slow the pace down. You know what I mean? Get everybody set into the offense. Let's go into the next thing. Right now, it's Skip Bayless Jenny Taft ain't there no more, right? Like, it's just Skip Bayless and these 4 dudes. Remember, like, in wrestling, where, like, all of the, like, off-brand WWE wrestlers, like after they would leave, would be like an Impact or something like that in TNA. He'd be like, oh, that's what Matt Hardy doing right now. That's literally where FS1 is right now. It's like, oh, he don't work for ESPN no more? They got one organic star. That's Nick Wright. And I think he even started on ESPN.
Man, Nick Wright need to leave FS1 immediately.
I know. He need to go to Turner. and start working with Chuck. I don't know why more people don't do it. Hey, look, you notice Turner Sports don't ever lose none of their all-stars. They like the Spurs. They've been rocking that same starting lineup for like 30 years, and it's been fire. All right. They ain't never losing Shaq. They ain't never losing Chuck. They ain't never losing Ernie. They ain't never losing the Rocket Kenny Smith. They ain't never losing any of them. That's a team that knows how to keep they squad together. You notice Greg Anthony's still over there at CBS Sports. Like, they don't ever lose nobody at CBS.
Hey, man.
But Fox and ESPN, they just be rotating all them dudes.
That Turner job is the best job in sports, man. I'm telling you.
Tony Romo feels great. All right. Jim Nantz been there forever. All right. Phil Simms got demoted and they just put him on a pregame show. Dog, that Turner Sports bread's got to be immaculate. Okay. Like, they don't ever leave. Sparrow Dita's been the C team on CBS football games since I was a child. Okay. Like, you notice that every other broadcast team or sports conglomerate has all of these moving parts moving in and out, except for Turner. They must be unionized or something. Like,
that's where you want to work, man. You get that Turner bag, you keep that Turner bag.
Let me tell you, I want to work for Turner Sports, dog. That's what I want to
say.
Put me on Inside the NFL, dog. I don't know, like, make something up. I want to be a part of it because obviously nobody ever leaves. Nobody. I can't name a person who has. Who's left inside the NBA to be like, I'm gonna go on the NBA countdown? People have gotten fired from TNT and had to show up on NBA countdown. Shout out Magic. Okay, that definitely happened to Magic Johnson. But nobody just chooses to leave there. It must be incredible.
LeBron James each and every day. It shouldn't take Richard Sherman, Keyshawn Johnson, and Michael Irvin very long to do the same. But all in all, I felt like this was a great opportunity for Michael Irvin to become an even bigger superstar than he was on First Take, because I personally believe that Michael Irvin and Skip Bayless could hold it down, just them two. I felt like any of the individuals that Skip Bayless brought on was good enough for a one-on-one debate. Now, that's the key term here. They're good for one-on-one debates. That's not how the show went. The very first episode was introduced very similarly to how Skip Bayless introduced Shannon Sharpe in 2016. Grab a box of tissues if you guys aren't ready for this reminder. Skip would introduce Shannon this way in 2016.
Thank Shannon Sharpe for joining me here on Undisputed. Hall of Famer, 3-time Super Bowl champion, the greatest trash talker in NFL history. Good luck to you, my friend.
And he would introduce his new show very similarly, praising his brand new co-hosts.
Introduce my dream team. Super Bowl champion with the Seattle Seahawks, most famous member of the all-time great Legion of Boom. He won a Super Bowl with the Bucs in spite of John Gruden. As I've said many times, I believe this man was the greatest receiver ever.
And then eventually, the show would be...
Hey, don't John Gruden shots? That's free smoke, baby. Free smoke.
I'm glad you caught it.
Ain't nobody else ain't nobody stepping up for John. Ain't nobody stepping up for John. Even though the offenses were decent, but no, free smoke, baby. Free smoke.
Don't tell me that's the worst advice. I'm only one of the best to ever do it at playing that game. I'm saying.
And we even got some gems. I mean,
hey, he sounded just like LaVar Ball.
Yes, he did. He absolutely did. Skip should have made
Shout out
LaVar.
Shout out to LaVar, man. Hey, LaVar would be an absolute pro, an absolute professional. You know what I mean?
Hey, Stephen A. got to make the call. That's all I'm gonna say.
You got LaVar. LaVar be out there barking. You know, remember when he went on Colin Cowherd's show and just was extremely disrespectful to Joy Taylor? He was like, I'm talking to Colin. You can sit over there at your little desk. That's why I got my back turned to you. I was like, damn. LaVar.
Hey, especially after what Stephen A. just said about Lonzo, bring LaVar on the show. Bring LaVar on the show.
Saying my boy ain't got no knees. I know he got knees. He got my knees. Hey, man, we didn't appreciate LaVar enough. I felt like the Herbs ruined LaVar because LaVar was just fun. And then you had people out, well, he's taking all the spotlight away from Lonzo and he's making Lonzo's life difficult. It's like, no, you are. You ain't got to write about it as if it's an issue. You could just write about it like, hey, LaVar Ball is ridiculous. And that's hilarious. But no, we always got to ruin the fun. We ruined LaVar.
I miss LaVar. He always brought the laughs, man. He always brought the laughs. I appreciate it.
They put him in everything. I seen him in Blackish. You know what I mean? Like
he was in Blackish?
Yes. He had a whole arc in that episode.
Even showed us some of his signature smack talk when he trash talked the playmaker for the way he used to receive the football back when he...
Hey, Cole, don't this look like a barbershop argument? Like just by looking at it, not hearing the art. This is every. If you've never been to the black barbershop, this is what happens.
Richard Sherman even showed us some of his signature smack talk when he trash talked the playmaker for the way he used to receive.
Unless you go to Super Cups. If you go to Super Cuts, this is not what it's like out in Super Cuts. Yeah,
you don't get this experience of Super Cuts.
If your like barbershop has like their own app, you don't get this experience, you know what I mean? But if your barbershop is on like the Cut app, you might get this experience. Like, you know,
the football back when he was playing for the Dallas Cowboys.
That's advice I've ever heard for a receiver. Don't catch it with your hands, catch it with your body. When you talk about led the decade in interceptions.
So we got some great moments, particularly between Sherman and Irvin. But there's a huge problem throughout this entire episode.
How long is it going to take for Richard Sherman to be like, boy, I'll lock your shit up right now?
Hey, before the end of the year, it's happening.
Like, Sherman going to start putting his hand on his shoulder, start outside leveraging.
Hey, I promise you if you take it there, I promise you if you take it there, I'm tuning in every single day.
Michael Irvin going to be like, all right, fuck it. Keyshawn, we going to do a stack. Go have him stacked in a 2x2. Richard Sherman got a pick. Which means he gonna take high and low. Like, they gonna be running drills, dog. Like that.
I promise you I'll tune in every single day.
And then Skip Bayless did this.
I'm not going to take it down because I stand by what I tweeted.
Skip, let me
okay.
Shannon Sharpe's face right now is like, I can't believe you on this bullshit right now. Like, he has that face like that. Are you serious right now? Like, this is bro, for real? You got to tell me you're not going to take this down now.
Every older black man has made that exact same face. I have seen it happen on every black man over the age of like 45 has made that face.
Ever disappointed your grandfather, you've seen his face. You know what I mean?
Face. Nothing good comes with an elderly black man making that face.
Hey, the best result you could get is him saying, "You lucky you ain't my child." Like that is best case scenario.
Physical violence follows that face.
Look,
significant amount of time.
Either physical violence or a prayer. You know what I mean? And if either one happens, I'm saying the prayer usually, he's not asking for strength at that point in time. That man is proactively asking for forgiveness. Okay? Like, if a man, this is for everybody in the audience who's never been in this situation. If a man that looks like this makes this face and starts praying, run. Because he's not praying for him. He praying for you. Okay? Like, that is a man who's been pushed to the limit. Okay? It stops here. Okay?
Okay. All right. Okay.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Shannon Sharpe would get frustrated and even call out Skip Bayless for the fact that he can't get through an opening monologue without Skip interrupting him.
Not get into your tweet. That's what I was gonna do. But you can't even let me finish my opening monologue without you interrupting.
And well, the very first episode featured a lot of that. You would see over and over again Skip Bayless attempting to speak, but not being able to speak.
If Dak was to get injured, he's been injured in the past.
And if Trey gets his shot,
and if he continues, so if nobody else was starting but Dak, then what are we?
I'm sorry, I hadn't been on TV in a while. I don't mean to take over.
And this is really...
Hey, man, it's only one ball.
Only one ball, man.
Only one ball. You gotta learn how to share it. You know, everybody trying to take their shots right now. And Skip out here, now he gotta be passive. Who's gonna be the Chris Bosh of this big three? Like,
somebody gotta go sit in the corner.
Somebody got to go set the corner. Somebody got to set the screen. They need them a moderator. They need somebody to make sure everybody gets they need a point guard, you know, and not a scoring point guard. They don't need Kyrie Irving out there they need Rachel Nichols. They really do.
you watch their games, but we don't have time because you guys talk too much. I did. Yes, you talk too much.
So this is leading to a lot of people calling Skip Bayless the
that boy looked distressed.
moderator of his own show, and clearly the show's format being an unmitigated disaster. Here's the thing. I didn't think that Undisputed was going to be like this, and I don't think it's going to be like this moving forward. I feel like they tried this format in the very beginning for the first episode, and it looks like they didn't rehearse with one another at all whatsoever. You can tell that Michael Irvin and Keyshawn Johnson are just used to yelling and trying to speak over each other, because I feel like that's what ESPN would tell them to do. And you can tell Skip Bayless is
Damn, they hit you again?
Again, dog.
Very uncomfortable and unsettled in this environment. So it didn't get off to as good of a start as the Shannon Sharpe era did with Skip Bayless in 2016. So what do I think the answer is here? Well, the answer is really simple. You can't have all four sitting at a table at once. It's gonna have to be a rotation, and you're gonna have to figure out when is appropriate to bring who onto the show. I feel like Keyshawn Johnson and Michael Irvin were added on way too late for them to even have an opportunity to discuss strategy with Skip Bayless. And I feel like in order for this to work out, you really got to feature each and every one of these individuals one-on-one or maybe one-on-two, and eventually work to the point where all four of them are sitting down and discussing with one another. Because this was just chaotic. They were just yelling over each other. There's also this clip from Stephen A. Smith's podcast where he says that he's not intimidated of the competition at all whatsoever.
I don't give a shit about competition. I live for it. And as far as I'm concerned, let's get it on.
And following this
Oh,
hey, talk that talk, Stephen A.
Getting real hot out here. It's getting real hot out here in these sports commentary streets. You know what I mean? Like, oh, watch out.
Talk to us, Stephen A.
Oh, hey, I'm about to
He ain't worried about that, man. He ain't worried about what
he about to put his playoff braids in. He like, oh yeah, y'all trying to push the king. I don't care. I'm gonna get him. That's crazy.
Man, Stephen A. was talking crazy, man. He's like, man, they ain't got it over there. I know what they got going on. I see Skip all the time. I know what they got going on over there.
He talking like they about to play each other on Sunday. Like,
I don't give a shit about competition.
Like, everybody calm down. We all under contracts. Like, y'all all under guaranteed contracts. It's all right. Y'all gonna be all right, man. What you mean? But yeah, I think ultimately this is gonna be changed. They're gonna go through several different iterations of this. Richard Sherman's not gonna be there all the time. And I feel like this format doesn't help Richard Sherman the most, because he's somebody who's going to have a more nuanced take and have some things to say and wait for those things to go. And he's kind of more used to doing that. And I feel like in this setting, he has to be like, if you're not shouting, you're not going to be heard. So in this setting, Richard Sherman doesn't do well there. It's really just going to be Keyshawn and Michael Irvin, because one of them going to stand up and shake or something and do something wild. Hell, Michael Irvin, I feel like half the time he out there, like, there's a chance that he might break out and do the fucking worm or something like that. Like, he's unhinged at times. Like,
Hey man, everybody know what Mike used to do. Maybe still does. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna get into all
Mike
that.
do sports commentary like a wrestler from the 80s. And I think he prepares very much like a wrestler from the 80s.
I think they prepared the exact same way.
Like, I feel like he about to wrestle Hulk Hogan when he be giving a hot take. It's insane. But yeah, they just got to find a balance. And the problem with Skip that you don't have with Stephen A is Stephen A is the dynamic personality that brings you to the table. It was like that when it was him and Skip. It was like that with him and whoever's on First Take. It's the Stephen A Smith show. So everybody knows that they're playing a side role with Stephen A, right? If me or you got the opportunity to do something with Stephen A, we're passing Stephen A the fucking ball and letting him cook, right? Because that's what the job is with Stephen A. With Skip Bayless, he's always let somebody else cook, right? When Shannon Cook became the big star there, Stephen A, same thing could be said there. And Skip is at his best when somebody else can cook opposite of him. Honestly, I think Michael Irvin probably makes the most sense for their like old style where they want to do debates. If they don't want to do debates, it makes more sense for it to be Richard Sherman. But let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. And what do y'all want to see out of the new landscape of sports talk?